Hi everyone, Darren Hunter here with Dennis Youssef. This is the Win Your Worth podcast show. And Dennis, this podcast show is all about teaching people how to win your worth, which means you win your fees. Did you know that your fees are you always only get what you think that you're worth? You don't ever actually earn your worth, what you believe that you're worth. This podcast show is all about building your worth so you can actually then charge better fees. Dennis, great last podcast episode. What did you think?
Oh, very good. Compact, I should say. It was very full,
Very full, very short, because we realize that people's attention spans, and like any rules that you learn about podcasting, really can't go anywhere past 30 minutes. 20 minutes is ideal. And we've done up to an hour, haven't we, Dennis? Because jam-packed full of meat, but we just want to give you short bursts and easy meals to eat, not big, long ones. And so the last podcast, our first one, was actually 2 killer scripts but if you can match your management fee with the other agent. We talked about the cup of coffee script. We talk about using your points of difference and getting leverage when they're ready to ask for a discount because you work in real estate, your fees are negotiable, they want to have some fun, understanding that it's just a speed hump. So continuing on with that and continuing on with being green lighted. And no, that's not gaslighting. It's being green lighted. And what that simply means is that your prospects give you buying signals. In other words, they're saying, I'm ready to buy, I choose you. But when they give you that but, for example, but the other agent is cheaper, that but is actually a buying signal. It's a positive signal. They're actually saying, you work in real estate, your fees are negotiable, I want to have a bit of fun. I like to get a deal and win a little bit too, because I don't get to do it too often. I can't go down to McDonald's and buy a burger and ask for a discount. I can't go to the supermarket and the checkout chick, the girl that's looking after the cashier. Well, if I ask her, or you go down to Walmart and say, can you give me a discount at the cashier? They're just going to look at you stupid. But because you work in real estate, therefore, your fees are negotiable. And Dennis, I gave an example. I sold my treadmill in the last week or so on Facebook Marketplace. And as soon as you list that, guess what? One of the first questions you get every time. What is it, Dennis?
What's the cash price, or what's the,
will you take price? X dollars? And it's always less than what you asked for.
Yep.
Why is that? Why do they do it every time? Well, it's because it's Facebook Marketplace. And if you hop on a plane right now and fly to Bali, when you get off the plane and you start talking to those by the roadside stall holders that sell T-shirts and bags, and what are you going to do? Well, you're not going to take their asking price. You're going to be asking for a discount, because that's what you do in Bali. So you work in real estate, everybody. Understand, they love to dance. They like to have some fun. And so it's the thrill of the kill. That's what they're looking for to make. And you understand this. So when you're on Facebook Marketplace, you like to ask for discounts. That's all they're trying to do, is have a bit of fun. So understand that your job is to make sure you know how to respond effectively. And here is my point. Get good at response, or just get great at discounting. I know it's a stupid thing to say, but that got your attention. And I just want to, I'll be teaching today out of my book, the PM Fee Script Secrets. Now on the video, if you're looking, there's got the blur on, sorry, but the PM Fee Script Secrets, there's over 50 scripts in there to cover just about any fee objection that comes your way. Plus I also teach you how to justify, whether it's the leasing fee, the lease renewal fee, the routine inspection fee, whatever fee you want to charge. I teach you how you can justify if someone questions you, why are you charging this fee? Plus 34 fees and fee packages charged over Australia, New Zealand, and United States with what agents are charging. Alrighty, so just go to pmfeescriptsecrets.com, pmfeescriptsecrets.com, or stopdiscountingfees.com. Both of those those links will go straight to the book. We've already paid for the shipping. I'll take that back. Sorry. We've already
created the book.
We've already paid for the
book
printing. All right. We've created it. We've put it together. We've paid for the printing. You've only got to pay for the shipping. It's a good deal. It is the handbook on fee objections that's ever been released on the planet. So get your hands on it. All right, moving on, Dennis. Let's talk about, but the other agent is cheaper. Remember, everyone, this is just a little speed hump now between you and the deal. And it's the best response wins. But if you haven't got a response, Dennis, and we probably haven't got good points of difference, what's going to happen?
Oh, you're going to crumble. You really are going to crumble. You're going to have to discount the fees to try and win the business.
You're gonna. And we don't want you to do that. We want you to understand your worth, a good response, because generally what I find, Dennis, I like to describe this like a tennis game. It's really a two-hit game. They're just going to hit the ball at you, and if you can hit it back over the line, back at them, it's probably game over. You've won. All right. It's usually if you believe you are worth it with confidence, and they can see it in your eyes, hear it in your voice, see it in your body language, all of that, then they will believe it too. It's a bit like one candle, then touching another candle and setting that candle alight. Belief is transferable. All righty. Belief, the two ingredients, Dennis, of belief are confidence and enthusiasm. And Dennis, I reckon there's a third one as well. Persistence.
Ah, yeah, okay.
Persistence of BDM, like your what's that that meme that you've got with the picture of the celebrities on the red carpet? What was that meme? That was all about persistence.
That's Henry Cavill and Mr. Aquaman himself, right?
Yeah. And what was the meme about?
Well, it's basically it's about. I mean, I like to think you've got to have the hustle, right? So, it's 12:01. And AM, and your BDM and your client says, give me a follow-up tomorrow, and then it's got a picture, of Jason Momoa crawling up behind Henry Cavill about to crash tackle him or something. But that's it. It's that persistence. It's that hustle. It's that chase. So
the client says following up tomorrow, and 12:01 AM, you're following up the client because it's right into the next day. But again, that's just an example of persistence, the hustle, all of that. Confidence and enthusiasm builds your belief and your worth. And if the clients see that, they will believe it too. All righty, let's move on, everyone. So here is some scripts here. And, Dennis, I've actually said 4 effective scripts. We might actually give 5. But anyway, this is straight from the book, The PMP Script Secrets. This one's on page 93. It's script number 17, The Mental Anguish. Got to give a shout out to Steve Rosenberg from the United States for allowing me to use this script. Again, but the other agent is cheaper. This is Steve's response. I remember traveling through the United States. I would spend some time with these experts and I say, okay, how do you deal with this? But the other agent is cheaper. And they go, oh, I just say this, blah, 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 blah. And then I noted it down. And I've got permission to use these scripts. I put those scripts in the book. Alrighty. So, if you want an agent who's cheaper, you'll also need to factor in the mental anguish you'll experience with having to micromanage inexperienced property managers as they turn over every few months. Isn't that the truth? Plus all the issues and complications that result from so much turnover, not to mention the hundreds, if not thousands of dollars this will possibly cost you. Don't sacrifice your peace of mind and hard-earned money simply to get some cheap fees up front, only to lose it and more and later. And that's just like what you said in the last podcast, Dennis, about it being likely the most expensive investment asset they'll ever own.
Yep. And they're going to base that on a small figure, right?
Yep. But everyone, the truth is they're just trying you out. They've already decided on you. You've been green lighted. They just want to see if they can get a sweeter deal from them. They've got no intention of going to the other agent. Please understand that. Take that bit to heart. They've got no intention of not using you at this stage. Alrighty, moving on. So the next one is what I call on page 95, Dennis, script number 19, We Fix Cheap Agent Service. And this is based on a story with Martin Grunstein, who was a MC at a conference some years ago where we both attended. And Martin got up and said, okay, here is a story. There was a town where a hairdresser had been cutting hair for 20 years, and he'd been offering $19 haircuts. And suddenly, after 20 years, he had the whole market to himself, really happy. And suddenly, after 20 years, someone opens up shop down the road and starts doing them at $6 to undercut him deliberately to try and damage him. Now, the guy thought, okay, the one doing the $19 haircuts, okay, how am I going to deal with this? I could match his fee, and I've got more deeper pockets than him, and I'm probably going to be able to go longer than what he has, and along the way, I'm going to then he is simply going to get run out of town because he can't last as long as me, but that's going to hurt my bank account. That's not a good idea. So what I explain in the book here, he just simply put up a sign in the window that said, we fix $6 haircuts.
I love it. I love it.
It's great, isn't it? So everybody, do you repair cheaper agents' service? I bet you do. So with that script in mind, well, Mr. Smith, we've become specialists in fixing cheap agent service. We've got so much new business from property owners who went with a cheaper agent to save money and on fees, but the negligence and problem levels were so high with constant staff turnover, a lack of experience and training, etc., that they had to move their business to us to simply get their problems fixed, or simply because they wanted to sleep at night. They were being tormented. They had mental anguish. And they just wish they used us right at the start. And
Darren, it's important you have testimonials from these people, right? So you can back it up after you've said your script, show them.
Have your horror stories, everybody. Have you got horror stories, real situations where they thought they were saving a couple of $100 a year through a cheaper management fee of 1% or whatever, to where that decision turned into costing them many hundreds of dollars or even thousands of dollars because this happened, that happened, whatever. But have your horror stories, everybody. And suddenly you've hit the ball back again in that 2-hit game of tennis. We've hit the ball back. And now they go, okay, they see that you're serious. They see that you believe in your worth. You get over that little speed hump, you're signing up the deal. So what a great one. Now, Dennis, this next one, the heart surgeon, was inspired by a guy called Dennis Youssef.
I've heard of him.
So tell me, what is the script all about, and what inspired you to come up with the heart surgeon script?
Oh, look, it's really it's another way. I was actually explaining it around my eye, but I used the heart surgeon at the time. It because if you were like, I recently had eye surgery back. I mean, recently, it's 2013. I had an eye surgery, and I also had eye surgery again in 2018. And when they're giving me the rundown of everything, they're sitting you down, explaining the whole procedure, and then they give you the price. You don't ask for a discount. This is your eye. This is your heart that you're talking about. What part of the heart do you want me not to operate on, or should I leave you half blind, or etc.? Like, it's ridiculous because we put so much value on our body, so much value in it. There's no way I was going to ask, the doctor. I don't want him having surgery on me and him thinking this is the guy that asked me for a discount. No chance. And you don't want a property management. You don't want an owner having to think, a property manager thinking, oh, this is the owner that screwed me down on fees. You don't want that passed back. So for me, it was quite visually easy to have a comparable about a surgeon and my body and property management.
Dennis, comes to mind a story of a guy that had to go to the dentist to get 5 fillings done, and complained that his bill wasn't in comparison to the amount of time. He said it took too quick, and you're only charging this huge amount. And the guy said, well, would you like me to take 3 times longer to do your fillings next time? The quickness was the value in getting the job done. It's the value, not anything like that. What value do you bring to the table? Dennis, the other thing is, it's obvious in this, is we're talking about specialists, a heart surgeon specialist, an eye specialist, surgeon, all of those sort of things. And you are a specialist, everybody, not just a general practitioner. When you add effective points of difference, you then get elevated in the client's mind. You are obviously an expert and a specialist, better than the average agent down the road that doesn't have any of these points of difference. And Dennis, one of the best points of difference that I've seen lately and works really good is showing your owners how effective your ingoing inspections are and how detailed they are, and shows how much care and attention that you spend on the recording the condition of the property. Now, with Inspection Manager, just go to inspectionmanager.com.au. You can now also insert virtual tours, which is with the resolution these days, Dennis, you get on these cameras, you can actually capture so much now on these virtual tours. Adding them into your written report will blow the mindset of your prospect away.
So Inspection Manager are using virtual tours as part of the routine inspections now.
Ingoing inspection.
Wow.
All right. And so go and get a demo, everybody. Just go to inspectionmanager.com.au and check it out. Now, the great thing about these virtual tours, you actually get these through virtualtourscreator.com.au, where you only need your iPhone. You don't need any expensive cameras. You don't need a 360 Matterport or anything like that. You just need your iPhone with a simple attachment on it. Tom can take you through it, but that's all you need for a virtual tour, and they can be inserted now into your Inspection Manager ingoing inspections. And I believe the routine function is there, but just ask inspectionmanager.com.au, do a demo, go and check it out. Have wow factor, everybody. Believe me, your competitors may have mentioned they're doing ingoing inspections, but certainly haven't demonstrated how they do them. You demonstrate it with a virtual tour, you will blow them out of the water. Let's move on, Dennis. So the next script is the pizza script. And I actually know we haven't read this one out yet. So the
Darren, just really quickly before you go on to the pizza script. I mean, back to the dentist, right? You know, you're not just paying for them for the short period of time. You're paying for their expertise, as you've already said. I mean, and the surgeon and the surgeons, whether it's eye or heart, you're paying for them for studies of going to the right, you know, universities and everything that they've done. You're paying for their expertise. And like you said, you are experts. You are professional experts. You are paying for their professional expertise. And you could be in the industry for 1 year or 20 years. It's how you're selling that confidence of having that expertise, being trained by the right people, whether you're IGT exclusive members, you're receiving continued coaching, etc. You are under the right training to look after the properties. That makes a massive difference, and it's a point of difference as well. You know,
guys, it's never the experts that do well; it's the people that perceive themselves to be the experts. All right, it's all a perception. All right, you've got to build the perception. You do that with effective points of difference. Alrighty, now Dennis, here is the script for the heart surgeon. We didn't actually finish it, but would you ask your heart surgeon for a discount right before an operation? Likely not, as you'd fear what they'd leave out of the process. We are unable to leave anything out of the service offering too, as it's crucial, all crucial to the overall management process. That's why we must charge full fees. We know what it costs our company to manage your property, and I'd be suspicious of any agency that tells you they can do the same service that we can for less. Isn't that the truth? Now, of course, with scripts, you understand the concept of what we just said. Just use your words, but my words here create the foundation or the framework for you to launch off. All right, now that was page 97, the heart surgeon. Let's go to the next one. And we're going to leave, Dennis. We've got 2 more scripts to go. I'm going to leave you with probably the best script I've ever come across. All righty. Now, the full pizza, everybody. And this is, again, but the other agent is cheaper. Very quickly, if we agreed and charged less, and then you're also asking us to deliver less, meaning we would need to leave parts of our service out. And if you were really hungry and you ordered your favorite pizza through Uber Eats, I just threw that in. I bet you'd be upset if some slices were missing when it was delivered and the delivery guy helped himself to parts of your pizza before you got it. You'd likely complain, or you certainly complain to Uber Eats, or you perhaps even give a bad online review, but you would be mad. This rental property is likely your greatest investment asset, and for us to give you full service, we must deliver you the full pizza and not leave anything out on our delivery. That's why we must charge full fees. I reckon that's a great script, Dennis. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, there's nothing worse than thinking that an Uber driver has taken my pizza.
Can you imagine that? You'd be furious. You'd be so angry. He's like, oh my goodness. And he says, well, we just had to, we had to help ourselves. But it's ridiculous, I know. But this is what the owner is asking you to do. You need to come back with a fun script like that, get them laughing. Yep. And it's like, again, the person that has the most confidence wins. Can they see your worth in your eyes? Can they see that belief there? Because if you believe it, they will believe it too. Just know your scripts, and please get these scripts. Now, when you get the book at pmfeescriptsecrets.com or stopdiscountingfees.com, you'll also have a chance, an option to also get the audio book, so you can listen to these over and over and over in the car, so they get hardwired into your brain. So when you're in the pressure of a listing presentation, understand that if you don't have learned your scripts with a lot of practice, then that part of your brain will shut down under pressure and you won't be able to think straight, alrighty? And that script won't be able to come out. You've got to learn it so it goes into your subconscious, and then easily you can pull it out on need when you're in the pressure or under pressure in the listing presentation. Isn't that the truth, Dennis? Fear shuts you
totally. Yeah, it totally is.
Mind down. So, alrighty, moving on. So, okay, the next one here, and this is my favorite script, everybody, but simply understand this. So I've got the new iPhone 14 in my hand. And when Apple released the iPhone 14, they would have gone to the market and looked at all the other major competitors. There's not that many, but they still would have done a charge analysis. They would have looked at what Samsung currently has out in the market that's comparable, and they know they're better than them. And so they know, for example, their phone is at $1,500, for example, they can charge more than that. Or they can look at the real cheap ones, but Apple comes in and prices themselves accordingly to what they believe their product and their service and their brand is worth in the market, and they price themselves in comparison to what else is available. Samsung has come in and they look at the iPhone 14 and go, well, we're certainly not as popular as them, and it has some great features and the camera is really good, but because the brand is not as strong, we don't believe we can get the $1,800 or $1,900 price tag of the iPhone. Therefore, we're going to come in at $1,500 or whatever. And cheaper agents do this. Cheaper phone companies do the same process. Relating that now to property management, there is a reason why your rivals are cheaper. It's not that they've got no idea what's going on in the market. It's not that they don't know what your fees are. You know what their fees are. They know what your fees are. And despite knowing that, they still remain cheaper. All righty. What does it say about them? Because if they felt they were as good as you, they would be charging the same as you. I want you to take that to heart, because that is the basis of this next script. It's on page 99 of the book. I call it script 22, secret 38, script number 22, less than expected. Look, if we simply charged the same as the agent and accordingly delivered the same level of service as them, you'd be upset with us. They've priced themselves at what they think their service levels are worth. Otherwise, they'd be matching us if they believed they were as good as what we provide. Matching the same service levels as them can damage our reputation, as you'd possibly tell others about your bad experience with us. That's why we must only charge in line with the service levels we deliver, and we cannot match our fees with the service levels of that of our rivals.
Darren, I was actually helping someone over the weekend. They've just started a carpet cleaning business, and they said to me they've come into the market offering, 30% cheaper fees than everyone else. And there was two people, and I said to the to the gentleman. I said, and how do you feel? And he goes, well, I feel that we're better than the other company, and we should be at least charging more or the same. And then I spoke to the partner, and they said, well, I just want to, get us the business. And I said, but your business partner, who just happens to be the life partner, knows his worth, knows he's better, knows he's, and I said, so, and I explained it to them, what part of the carpet cleaning are they not going to do because you're discounting the fee, because you're still spending the same amount of time there, possibly even moving the furniture around, and the other companies probably don't do it because you're trying to do whatever you can to win the business. Oh yeah, I actually offer removal of furniture as part of it. And I said, does the other company? No. So that's two things that you're doing differently. So, it's not hard to dig deep and really see your points of differences and know your worth. Don't take, what are you going to take out of the service? Again, it comes back to the Uber. Like you could say, imagine a chef walking up and eating the chips on the way. Oh, sorry, they gave you too many, so I've just got to eat some before I put it on the table. What part of the service am I going to take out? I think it's a great script.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And look, everyone, you can turn anything into a point of difference, really. Just understand that, you might be doing quality routine inspections and you've got quality marketing and all of that. It may not be that different from the other agent, but I guess the other agent hasn't even described or gone through or shown anything. It's just a tell only, not a show and tell. So you need to understand that, we want you to have quality points of difference for sure. We want you to stand out so radically different from your competitors, but don't forget, they probably got lazy and they're not really going through anything, and they're probably struggling with a discounting question. So, all right, Dennis, I think that's a really great session. I just want to invite people out there, if you want to build your worth, again, you can only charge what you believe that you're worth, you never charge what you're worth, but what you believe that you're worth. It's all about building your worth. Come and join me at the Win Your Worth Academy, where over a 12-month period, I'm going to be teaching you how to find an extra $500 to $1,000 a year per property new business. All righty, that's what we're teaching there. So just go to igtmembership.com or winyourworthacademy.com. Join us there. The full team gets access. You can also join our Top Growth Academy, which is rent roll growth. You can also join our Master Your Time Secrets Academy, where we teach about time management for property managers. I'll be leading that up. We're about to release our time management book. Your team's going to get so much task efficiency through joining that. And of course, we've got Michael Sands with his Outsourcing Success Academy as well. We're teaching you how to make the most if you're using virtual assistants and get them the most efficient. All righty. So some good goodies there, Dennis. Really good podcast.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming, everyone. Don't forget, you can get my PMP Script Secrets book. We've paid for the printing. You've just got to pay for the shipping. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.